Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? I know I missed last week, but I'm so excited to join you all again. I'm just going to give it a few moments, as always, to see how many more of you all are joining in. Hey, everyone. How are you all today? Hello. Okay, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. So, housekeeping, do read the rules on featured and understand what a real twin flame is because there's a lot of confusion about it lately. And I cannot emphasize further on how important it is to understand what connection you are in. But however, don't get too carried away as well because going label free is ultimately what induces self realization, and self realization is the key to enlightenment. Hello, I'm so happy to see all my beautiful people. Hello, Amy. Hello, Teresa. Happy birthday for last week. I didn't go live. If not, I would have wished you live then. I hope you had a great birthday. By the way, guys, Teresa had a birthday last week on the 20th of March. Hi, MJ. So happy to see you again. And thank you, MJ, for inspiring this week's topic once again. And I always enjoy having these discussions with you before going live. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful to you always. And we always have so much fun. Hello, Henry. Hello, beautiful soul. So happy to see you. Hey, Bardi, so happy to see you as well. It must be 2 p.m. in New Zealand, am I right? I've been all right, just been work this month. Work has just been insane, but all good. How have you all been? Please let me know how have you all been. I would love to hear about what's been up in your life before I delve into the topic. So, throw your questions as usual. Um, Same format. Throw in your questions. Don't worry about interrupting my flow. I'm pretty good at getting back. Oh, close to 1 p.m. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It's 8 a.m. here. So, yeah, 5 p.m. 5 hours. New Zealand is 5 hours ahead of us. Yay! All right. So this week's topic is very, 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 very interesting. As you would have seen MJ's post, and probably you guys have so many questions because ghosting is such a sensitive and painful and it is such a profound experience as well. So I know you guys all want to know DMs who run or who goes for years, do they come back and what the chances of 3D union is? Truth to be told, it's like a scientific formula. So the more advanced a divine feminine is, the likelihood of your divine masculine coming back to you and being in union with you is higher. But however, if you are stagnant and not evolving or progressing spiritually, then union is not within your reach. So again, union is not something to plan or aim, or it has to happen naturally. So having said that, to answer the topic's questions that we put forth, DMs who run do come back, like after years. Like I've dealt with some clients who, after 20 years, their DMs come back and they unite. So it's not impossible. However, union is rare in its rarity. Hi, Annalisa. So good to see you. Thanks for joining in and tuning into this week's topic. So I'm talking about DMs who ghost, whom you don't hear for many, many years. Do they come back? The simple answer is yes, they do come back, but not in all cases. Because human life and human density, as we understand, works in stages, and it's so easy to work on yourself and then lose it, lose the essence or lose the flow or give up. Whereas this twin flame journey is not about being in union with your divine masculine completely. It is actually about realizing who you are on a soul level before coming into union with your divine masculine. So, going back to how one feels, oh, it's getting a bit warm here. Yeah. So, how do divine masculines actually make an entry? They will just make an entry, when you least expect it. But however, do note that in twin flame connections, no divine masculine is going to come and interrupt your family life. For example, for those of you who are married to your soulmates or karmics, your twin flame is not going to come and interrupt your life. Rather, the entry of twin flames or the entry of a divine masculine at any stage happens when there is an opening, because this is a divine connection, so there's never going to be a disruption in your life. So if there's a disruption, then the connection is most likely a karmic connection. So do note that there's a thin line between karmics and twin flames. So do check out my video. I think I did that a couple of weeks back to understand the key difference between karmics and twin flames. So that is also vital. I'm going to answer Teresa's question. I'm good getting closer to A. I'm dealing with work drama though. Yeah, life is like that. You see, if this was 5,000 years ago, or if this was a situation pre the technological era, the challenges would have been different, Women's roles were different to what women's roles are now. So that has a great impact on a divine feminine as well, because now roles have evolved. Women are equally carrying on the weight of responsibilities of family, in terms of career and things like that. So these are all challenges. These are all sometimes even obstacles to stray you away from your path towards enlightenment. And the correlation between enlightenment and union is very close. So if you really notice, those who are in union are actually spiritually awakened as well. And spiritual awakening is not, like what some people may have misconceptions, gurus sitting in mountains or people in the 3D world can't get enlightenment. All these are misconceptions. In fact, in this era, many of us are walking amongst humans awakened. And so you have to get that right. Of course, there's always going to be people saying others, because sometimes it comes to a lack of understanding and ignorance, mostly ignorance. So when a person is ignorant, they're going to throw their ideas on you. They're never going to treat you with love. So that is one of the steps to actually evolve, not to be tied away by dogmas or ideas that actually bring you down. So going back to the topic, divine masculines do come back. And when they do come back, it's going to be fireworks, and it's going to be a true test of your patience, your virtue, your faith in the journey. But however, if you keep harboring that I'm going to be in union, I'm going to be in union, and you keep waiting with the intention that they're going to come, then they're never going to come. So you have to evolve to a state whereby you do not completely cut them off, but rather you start making yourself a priority. actually, that was what I was going to touch on, Annalisa, about free will. And I have talked about it in my previous lives as well. So, twin flames have free will too. So, even if before incarnating, twins decide to unite, but after they come here, they have the free will to actually change their path or their destiny. So, in that way, it is wholly up to the individual who, actually a half of a soul. So, free will is present. And that's why, even though destiny may have written that your guys are going to be in union, it might not. That's why it's so essential to know yourself and to understand this connection deeply, and to actually have a very strong telepathic connection with your DM's 5D self, because that is going to be your mode of communication until physical union takes place. Exactly, Teresa. Thank you so much for that. You have to be detached from the outcome. Like, you have to be completely detached from the outcome. Actually, that's one of the secrets of union with your twin flame. It's complete detachment in levels that if you have an experience you can't even imagine, like detachment. See, sometimes people detach because they are angry, or so all these 3D emotions. You cannot allow emotions or feelings to help you decide what you want to do in terms of your twin flame connection. True detachment is you are just free, like you're so free. You have surrendered to God, you've surrendered to the universe, and you're doing your own thing. You're working on yourself, you're working on becoming the best version of yourself, and you're not tied by romantic notions of love, because if you are, then this twin flame journey is not for you. Of course, there is an element of romanticism there, but the whole journey is not about romanticism. Actually, it is about spiritual growth. It's about your connection with God. It's your knowing your creator. So that is the reason why I cannot emphasize further. If you really want to uh, be in union, you have to completely surrender to God, universe, however you defined your relationship with God. So, what exactly goes through the divine masculine mind? So, this is going to be very interesting, because the moment union actually takes place is when there is complete detachment from the divine feminine. And detachment meaning no longer that energy stream of I want to be with my DM, I want to be in union with my DM, but rather I allow anything to happen in the best interest of the universe and God, that kind of. So that's how you're going to correct your thinking. Instead of saying, oh, I'm going to be with my twin flame, union is happening this year, this time, you say, I am free, I have surrendered to God, I am happy, I am full, I am free, I am whole. you know it is very important to have this energy stream in your mind that you're whole, because the moment you keep thinking you're incomplete and think that your divine masculine is going to be the key reason to make you whole, then again you are actually preventing union from happening. So that's the reason why you have to be able to see the wholeness in yourself, and you have to really enjoy being with yourself, because that goes back to mirroring. What you feel is what's going to inspire your DM, and vice versa. So the more you love yourself, the more you start becoming the best version of yourself, the more you are serving the community and the world, and you're completely focused on all of that, you will actually see a great energy shift. Okay, Amy has a question. I always notice the more I focus on myself, the more things flow. Our relationship is better when I'm working on being a better me while he's trying to be. You see, and yes, so actually, it is not a very complicated formula, but it's rather you work on yourself, you inspire your divine masculine, and you inspire one another with the highest intention and guidance from God, you are actually on path to a very, very, very happy ending. And again, what is a happy ending? You spend hours discussing what happiness means, and to each it's their own. Whereas, you know what is so beautiful about a twin flame journey is it really awakens all of your senses. It's like throwing you into a washing machine and making you spin for hours and hours and hours until you realize what you are and what life is about and what this connection is about and what you have to do. So you are in for a deep, deep, deep spiritual ride inside a washing machine. Like analogy, I'm using that as an analogy. So yes, that's why your connection with God is the most important thing in this journey. And if you push that away, then you are going to be entrapped in illusion after illusion and even become delusional. So that's why to stay grounded and to stay connected, connecting to God is the most essential step. And a lot of divine feminines that I've worked with have remarked that as well, and how complete surrender to God is what actually got their divine masculines to come back to them. And they said, and for those who have been in union, they actually say that there was a point that they just stopped thinking or caring about the outcome. They just let go and let things flow, like what Amy says. Sometimes it's about focusing on yourself and your own self growth and your evolution, and then it mirrors back to your divine masculine. But the chances of union, you have to understand, is actually quite rare, and that's why you have to stop comparing your journeys with other people, or being obsessed with the steps to union, or keep trying to find an answer everywhere on the internet. Like, you have to start searching within. Actually, that is the key. You keep searching within, you will find the answer. As all the answers of the universe are actually within, because we are all connected to God, and so are the answers and the mysteries of the universe as well. So keep the questions coming in, guys, because then I will know which area to focus on with regards to this topic. Another thing that I wanted to discuss as well is tuning your frequency to actually hack the twin flame matrix. So I'm just saying it in a very metaphorical way. You can't really hack the twin flame matrix, but what I meant is always watch your thoughts, your emotions, and what you actually feel towards your divine masculine. So that frequency is what's going to determine the outcome of your connection, if it is a true twin flame connection. And that's why I cannot insist further. Like, a lot of women are trapped in karmic connections, and they mistake it for twin flame connection, and they are actually suffering as a result of that. So it's very, very important to understand if you are in the journey or not. And it's a tricky one, but with the guidance of God, you will always know the real answer. And of course, not being in denial as well, or chasing or feeling. And so it is very, very, very important to remove that concept of romanticism from your mind. I mean, of course, it's beautiful. It's happily ever after, family and kids. Yes, yes. And all that will come with your twin flame. But it's essential to understand that this journey is not like other connections. You meet, you date, you court, you get married and have kids. You are actually working on yourselves. You have to be on a clean slate before you can actually be in union. And it's usually at that point when the running divine masculine comes back. So it's like catharsis taking place. And it goes back to the old analogy: when the chaser stops, the runner stops running, and the runner actually turns back to look at their chaser. So that is one of the most key intricate steps towards union. So that is really, 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 really profound, because if you keep chasing this idea or this dream or this wishful thinking, then you are far behind on your journey towards spiritual growth and evolution. And like Teresa says, expect the unexpected on this path. I know this topic is being so serious, and this is like a Saturday night. So I'm going to, make it more energetic so that you all are pumped up. It's meet weekend for some, it's Sunday, like it's Sunday here. Yeah, but these are really, really important. Like if you don't figure these things out, then eventually it's going to blow right back to you. That's why it's very important in the early stages of meeting your twin flame to actually immediately start working on yourself and connecting with God. As easily said, it's not as easily done. So there are going to be a lot of obstacles and pitfalls in this journey, and I've done videos about that, the dark night of the soul, and spiritual awakening, various stages of catharsis, and all that. So do check that out to get a deeper understanding of what twin flame separation is like as well. Twin flame separation is like your soul being ripped into two and the other half of your soul not being there. But you have to understand separation is a very 3D physical thing. As twin flames, you are never really separated because souls know separation. Another thing is comparing yourself to society in general and having pressures. All these tend to be obstacles as well. That's why. And what is spiritual growth? What is spiritual evolution? It's not about dismissing all of your responsibilities and going to the forest and meditating. That thinking has to change. Some people have that thinking, oh, if I'm completely focused on the mission of doing nothing is when I will attain something. That is terrible. You have to go on with this life and grow along with it, and that is true spiritual awakening, because you are hacking the matrix and awakening and realizing and connecting and understanding who you are. You are a magnificent soul with so much potential. Yes, Bharati, you're completely right. Take a step back in the 3D. Sometimes being overly focused on the 3D is also not really good, because you have to start thinking 5D. And thinking 5D, it comes with daily connection with that dimension. So, example, you're going to work, and there's all this 3D stuff happening, problems and issues. But if you take yourself one step up into 5D, when you view yourself from 5D and when you start solving problems from 5D, things are actually different. Your problem solving gets better, your notion, your the way you handle things improves as well. And slowly, the more you practice living in 5D, your connection with your divine masculine's 5D self increases too. So then communication happens telepathically. So for those who are really tied to 3D, you may think, oh, I'm going crazy. Why am I talking to my divine? But it's as real as it can be, and you know it. Another thing is keeping your journeys confidential. That's another practice to follow, because if you discuss this with people, they're just going to confuse you. They're going to tell you 1,000 things. They're going to recommend 1,000 readers, 1,000 YouTube videos, 1,000 links. It's best that you keep this to yourself and you grow with this journey from your connection with God and your own research and analysis and psychic guidance from who you really trust, because trust is a big thing. And make sure that you're always empowered. And I make sure that in every psychic reading or healing, I make sure that my client is empowered, and that is very important. The moment you are disempowered by a healing or reading, then you know that energetically the frequency is off. And That's why you need to find a balance as well. Overly obsessing over this journey, overly getting readings and stuff like that. You always need to find a balance, and you need to believe in yourself first and foremost, and God. Like only God can save you in this journey. And what I mean by save is only God can guide you on this path, because this path is again not an easy one, and it's not for the faint hearted. So if you say, people say, oh, I found my twin flame, and then it probably isn't a twin flame journey, because a twin flame journey requires a lot of sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice of time, a lot of patience, a lot of self love and self care and authenticity. Thanks, Amy, for that. You have to be very authentic in your expression and your journey. You have to wish good for others. You have to be part of this community and be a light in your own right, inspiring people, and where I'm coming. So just being authentic in whatever I find myself in, my biggest struggles have helped me grow more than any spiritual practice. The meditation helps, but the growth happens in life through all experience. And I cannot agree more with Amy on this. Growth happens in life through all the experience. Even from even something from work, builds you up as a person. Even something from how you behave to the person you buy coffee from or food from, all this actually grows your character and grows your personality. Sometimes you have to take a moment and connect with the person across, the person that you meet on a daily basis, your family, your colleagues, your friends, and instead of being attuned to social media and living in the virtual, sometimes it's essential to actually connect to the present. So that goes to the next part of my discussion. Being in the moment and being in the present is very vital. Yes, Annalisa, living in 5D modes, being in a peaceful and calm manner. Yeah, in 5D you cannot be in a state of anxiety or confusion. When you're in 5D, it's a state of watchfulness, it's a state of detachment. You just know it. I'm in 5D, because the way you handle life and problems, it just shifts into another perspective, another state of perception, which I've discussed about in my other videos as well. Amy, mine acknowledged the telepathy recently. Very nonchalant in conversation, but I was like, yeah. So telepathy is real, and we have inherently, we are connected to people telepathically, but when it comes to your twin flame, the connection is undeniable. That's why I keep saying, watch your thoughts. Watch your frequencies, watch your energies, because your divine masculine can feel it. See, recently one of the examples is a friend came to me and said, I have finally found, the universe has manifested this person I was looking for, but however, I don't love her. So that sentence, goes back to the question, what is love? What is love that people assume as love? And that is something I want you guys to think about this week, what love is exactly and what it means. And because love, what is love? Because people fall in love. People get infatuated and think it's love. People have that spark and they think it's love. But what is truly love? This is a question you got to ask yourself, and that's why the twin flame journey is so divine and so spiritual and so close to the heart, because you are going to understand what love is. And having the realization of what love is one of the most beautiful gifts you can gain out. I don't want to even use the word gain. You can get out of this twin flame journey. Defining love in all dimensions. What is love? Love is this feeling, this Yeah, and that's why unconditional love is very, very, very important. And that's why it's very important to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you will never understand what love is. Have you taken a moment, looked at yourself in the mirror, and commented, I look so beautiful? I dress up for myself. I spray perfume for myself, because I feel good. I wear those, I adorn this pair of heels because I feel good. But society has conditioned people to dress up for others, to look good for others. But shift the focus and start loving yourself in every aspect you can. So, to actually truly understand what love is, self love is the key to understanding what love is, and that explodes into the understanding of what unconditional love is. And that's why, going to the runner chaser dynamic, the reason why the divine masculine runs is because they can read your every thought, and you are in this frequency of desperation. When am I going to get into union? When am I going to get into union? Oh no, my biological clock is ticking, which is very fair and which is very valid, and never beat yourself up to it. It's just that the divine masculine vibrates in the exact frequency you are vibrating on. And they express it as a runner, and the feminine expresses it as a chaser. So it goes back, only when the runner stops running, only when the chaser stops chasing will the runner actually stop. So that's why, after many, many years of deep devotion and meditation and self work and self growth, for divine feminines who have transcended the 3D and have started consciously living in 5D, union actually happens. And when union happens, to them it's nothing special because they are already in union. So always remember that when you come to that state, you will no longer think about union anymore, and that's when union actually happens, and everything will be free flowing. Just think about it. You don't want to get into this intense connection half baked, half um, with semi growth. Then you are going to burst out into fiery explosions. I can't elaborate on that further. If you enter a twin flame connection without being healed, without awakening, then it's going to be a disaster, because you are going to mirror each other and you're going to destroy each other from within. That's why, and that's why union does not happen if you are not vibrating in that frequency. Union actually only happens when you both meet that level of spiritual growth and attain that frequency and become completely detached and start consciously living in the 5D mode. And that's why it takes many, many years. Many people have this assumption, oh, I meet my twin flame and I get into union. If it was that easy, then it's not a twin flame journey. Having said that, there are some who are born awakened, so the tests, they pass the test quite quick. So that's why unions happen within 2 years or 3 years. But even then, there's a challenge. And usually the first cycle of twins, that's when it takes many, many years, like a 20-year cycle. So this is twin flames uniting for the first time, having gone through the entire process of awakening. So for some twins who have already experienced all this in other dimensions of living, then when they incarnate, it's just like a reminder. And hi, Bella, I hope you're good. So we are talking about what twin flame union is like, and how it feels, and what happens when your divine masculine walks in towards union. So that's the topic we are discussing. So thanks for joining in, Bella. So where was I? So yes, so it is vital to completely let go of the idea that union is actually an illusion. So it just happens naturally, like how you're born, it happens naturally, right? Like birth, you can't force birth. It happens, it happens at the right time. Same thing with twin flame growth and union, it just happens divine timing, and that's why it's important to trust divine timing. That's great to hear, Bella. I'm doing really good, thank you so much. I hope you're all doing really well, and I hope I'm not boring you from this topic. So guys, interact a bit so that I know that you all are watching and listening. Any questions, don't ever think any question is silly or any question is dumb. Just ask your questions. Thanks, Teresa. I recently noticed and I will say the same things at the same time. It feels like a connection has gotten stronger. So telepathy is something that I say with twin flames. It's really, really, really obvious. That's why if you are in the I want to be with you, I want to be with you, then it's going to trigger the cycle of running and chasing. Amy, it's such a balance. I just decided I want off that cat mouse feeling. So anytime I feel those feelings creep out, just remember that I need to work through the fears within. Yes, working through your fears within yourself. You have to really, really, you have to work through all of them. It's just like it's just like climbing up the career ladder. For instance, you cannot become CEO of your company, unless it's your own company. But if you're starting off as an intern, then you slowly work your way up to the highest position. Same thing, you can't expect the moment you meet your twin flame to be in union unless you're spiritually awakened. When you meet your twin flame, then union is going to happen. Even then, so no one living in 3D might be completely healed, and if they are completely healed, then union happens. Yes, that happens to some really rare twins, but for most, you still go through that 3D notion of being challenged into understanding the 5D notion of connection. So having said that, it's all about the balance. It's about letting go. It's about working through your fears. It's about being open to anything and willing to face any form of challenges in this journey without giving up. So if you keep thinking what my twin is, actually the worst, and I have mentioned this in my other videos as well, stalking them is the way to completely tip your energies off balance. Because the moment you start stalking them and getting affected by what you see or what they post or what you hear, is going to trigger you up, and your divine masculine can just feel it. So you have to just let it go, like really let it go. Can we discuss how even when you are in union, you still grow spiritually? Okay, when you are actually in union, in a twin flame journey, you have actually grown spiritually. It only happens when you have grown completely spiritually. So of course, you'll be evolving as a twin flame couple, but it's going to be a different kind of spiritual growth. It's no longer about working out your fears, healing and all that. You'll reach a point, and it's also good, think about it, you don't want to enter fire. I'm describing the twin flame union as like, you don't want to play with fire, you don't want to go in with issues. It's just going to burst up in your face. So if there's still underlying issues, then you may feel like you're in union, but then it goes back. So it is designed in a way that you have to completely work through your issues before actually being in union. So actually, once you're in union, it's about service to humanity. That's why twins who are in union actually start serving the community and start doing things that help evolve the planet. So you're actually spiritually helping the planet grow. And don't ever think spiritual growth too is a destination. So think of it as realizing yourself constantly. So in that aspect, you're growing spiritually because you're constantly reminded of who you are on a soul level. But just remember that only when you're pure light, you actually unite with your divine masculine. So if there's anything that's clouding the light, work on those. So the faster you work, see, I don't even want to use the word faster, because then you're putting a condition there. You are placing a kind of you're putting pressure on yourself. So always watch the pressure thing as well. Just go with the flow. Actually be happy with what you do. Like a truly enlightened person, like I say, doesn't live in a forest. There's one example, is a truly enlightened person. Okay, I'll use this analogy from a documentary I watched. So a person is carrying a heavy a person is actually carrying a pail of water up a hill. And after enlightenment, they're still doing the same thing. But what has changed? So that's where the question lies. What has changed? What has changed is the person previously carrying the pail of water was asleep, and this person has awakened. So life is still the same. So some people think enlightenment is different to existence. You're still existing, but you're awake, that's all. And the same things happen. So that's why understanding yourself, self-realization is very, very, very important. And really removing preconceived notions of spirituality is also important. Find your own path, to each its own. Like, you cannot have this formula, oh, I have to go through this in order to attain enlightenment. Like, that's how a lot of people are stuck into this delusional cycle. And then when they see someone who's awakened, they just can't, they go back to your gurus, like, how can this person be awakened? This child is only 5 years old. But you have to understand, this child is born awakened, and you cannot compare yourself with someone else's journey. So always remember, to each its own. Your journey is unique to you. Never compare your journey. Never criticize anyone. Never look down on anyone. Do not condemn anyone. But if people do, then they are unawakened, and they are spiritually, and when you awaken, you just see it as you just handle it with love. I'm obviously still a work in progress, but I think we're at a stage where he's catching up, maybe, if that's a thing. I think he's in the dark night of the soul. How do we support them during the process? Just tell him I'm there, but I don't say anything about the TF journey. Exactly. Just be present, and it goes back to being present, being in the moment, living in the moment. And one more thing, just focus on your journey, guys, because there's another, like, a group of women who would always ask, like, what is my DM feeling, what stage of their spiritual growth they are in. Instead of actually focusing on that, focus on what stage you are, because it will mirror back. And just be present if you can for your person energetically in whatever dimension. Just be present. Start living in the moment. Actually, true enlightenment happens when you start living in the moment, not in the past or in the future, but rather in the moment. And that's why it is so important to just let go, and let the universe do its thing. Another thing I wanted to touch on. Yeah, living in the moment, truly living in the moment, and strengthening your connection with your person in 5D. That is very, 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 very important. Never ever forget that, guys. Living in the moment is important. That's why the energies shift when you start obsessing about the future. Will I be in union? Will I be in union? When will I be in union? And when you're asking these questions, then either you're not on a twin flame journey, or you're in very early stages of a twin flame journey. But again, you don't set a timeline. And spiritual progression is like a spark. It can just happen very quickly. It's all about realization. It's about going from the asleep state to awakened state. That's why show yourself a lot of love and compassion. Love and compassion begins within. And be the best you can to the world. Inspire the world. Create something that helps the world, align, vibrationally help the world ascend. I'm just going to go on for another 10 minutes. So if you guys have got any more questions, please let me know. And if you guys are interested in a reading or a healing, you can DM me for a paid healing or a reading. Always happy to guide you, and I'm having a special promotion, 10% off on all my services for the next 3 days. So if you all are interested in something, you can book a session with me. But I want you to actually focus within. And so, yeah, if you need me, I'm here. And do ask me beforehand, like when, like how long I'll take, because I get really busy at work. So there might be a lag. Sometimes I'll be able to deliver your reading quite quickly. Sometimes there may be a lag, depending. So always ask me, and always feel free to contact me in between to ask how your reading or healing is going, and I'll be more than happy to answer. All right, back to our topic, and I want to end this topic with a bang and on a very positive note as well. So, DMs who run actually come back. Short answer, they do. But always remember, sometimes it could not be this lifetime, it could be a lifetime in the future. So, it all goes down to how evolved you are spiritually. So the chances of 3D union depends on you and your journey alone. Then that's why it's so rare, because a lot of people just give up on this journey and they just move on to be with a soulmate or a karmic. Some are like, I'm done with this nonsense, because you can't have expectations for a twin flame connection, because it ties in with your growth, it ties in with healing. And you cannot give a time frame for healing from a trauma, for instance. You can't say, okay, I'm going to heal from this trauma in 5 days. You can't. Healing in itself is a process, it's a journey, like all forms of healing. Like even physical healing, you go to the doctor, you can't expect to be healed so quickly, right? You go through surgery. Doesn't it take months before you can start walking again, for those who have had a injury or something? So same thing with mental healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing. It takes time, and please give yourselves that time to grow, and don't feel like I have to be like that. Let those feelings come. So if you are thinking, obsessing about your twin flame, let that feeling pass. Do not control what you feel, like trying to say, oh, I cannot think this way, I cannot. So the more you do that, there's an element of control there. So let it flow and go into that state of watchfulness. So example, person A is stalking their twin flame on Facebook, right? They cannot control themselves. If that person goes into that state of watchfulness, it will not affect them anymore. It's like, oh, I'm just viewing a movie of my life. So always find the solution to alter your frequency, so that you come back to being grounded and centered. And that's why praying to God, prayer, talking to God is so essential, because it is a tough journey, and your connection with God is what that really, really matters ultimately. Because when you pray, you get peace, and you get help, and you get guidance, and the right people come into your life. You get the right kind of guidance, and I can never insist that more. And also believe in the flow. The synchronicities that the universe sends you. Be happy for that. Live in the moment. Admire, look, shift your eyes and look at the world with new eyes. Like look at the tree. Look at flowers, look at the sky, look at the sun, look at all these natural elements of the world, and connect with this. Connect, and then you will understand that spirituality is about oneness. It's about connection. It's about connecting and understanding. Hello, Kathy. I hope you're well and your weekend is going good. So, guys, another 10 more minutes and I'm going to close up today's session. So, if you guys have any questions, just throw me in with regards to this topic, or, I will just do some guidance if you guys want. And then I want you guys to go and reflect and actually think about what love is, because that is a very, 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 very important question that you have to ask yourselves in order to actually kickstart the spiritual growth process. Okay, so there are no more questions, so I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap up Any more question, guys? Then I will wrap up. So, guys, looks like there are no more questions. So I'll just summarize what we have been talking about today. Whether 3D union happens after years of your DM, being in a runner cycle. It does happen, but union is rare. Do not chase union. Let the spiritual growth begin from inside. It is a complex process. Do not beat yourself up to it. Take your time, flourish, grow. Do not compare yourselves, because this is your own journey. So don't ever fall into that trap of comparing yourself. Thank you, Henry. Have a great Sunday as well. Thank you all to my darling friends who have joined me today. I appreciate you all so much. I love you all so much. This video is going to be on, so if you need to go back to any parts, yes. And if you want to, if there's a topic you want me to discuss about, leave it as a comment on my file and I will talk about it. And if you want a paid service from me, check out my file as well. And yes, namaste and take care and have a great Sunday. Thank you, Annalisa. Take care. Love you all loads. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Blessings to all of you. Always connect to God. Remember, first and foremost, guidance from your Creator, guidance from God is the most essential to your path to spiritual evolution. And never give up on yourself. Always trust yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself a lot of unconditional love. So blessings to that, finding yourself, being inspired and creating wonders to the world. So for those of you all who have joined me, thank you so much. I really enjoy doing this live. Sorry that I missed last week. There were some technical difficulties, and that's the reason why. But I look forward to coming back next week. And if you have any questions, ask me during my live. And take care. Love you all and have a great weekend. Bye bye.